Hey guys, Chauncey Phillips here. Welcome to brand new DVD Blu-ray Tuesday shopping video today. They're going to try and go to a couple different spots today. May try and go back to that pawn shop that I went to a couple weeks ago. I found those really cool out-of-print stuff like Under Wraps and the Prince of Pennsylvania. That place is only $1, so it's definitely one of those spots I want to try and check out at least once a month or so because you really never know the kind of stuff they're going to get in there. Also going to have a review at the end of this video for Crimes of Passion from Arrow Video US, and also going to be unboxing or unwrapping or so these shirts that I got from this company, Terror Threads. So I'm going to see what those ones are at the end of this video as well. So anyway though guys, let's get going and see what we can find today. Into Target we go. There's actually a couple different things that came out today. One of the big things that came out today was Barbershop The Next Cut, which I talked about in one of my last videos. And then one of the other things today was Hardcore Henry. So I really like this one a lot. This was actually a pretty good movie, all done like first person style, of this guy who was like trying to get his wife back and he had no memory and stuff. It was actually pretty cool, like ultra violent type film. One of the other ones was Criminal, which this had some really mixed reviews, but I really like this with Kevin Costner. And he has like the mind of Ryan Reynolds put into him because they have to try and finish this mission. This was actually a pretty interesting one and kind of a different role for Kevin Costner. And the other one I believe was I Am Wrath. I think that one was today. And I can't remember if The Boss was today or not. Into Big Lots we go. I heard there's some sort of a 50% off thing today, so we'll see what's going on. Yeah, some of you were writing to me that there's like a 50% off sale today on this stuff, but I don't know if that's really going on or not. I don't see any signs in here for anything. But it seems to be a lot of the same stuff I saw in the last couple weeks. Some of the stuff has been marked down to like $3.50 that was $5. Like Possession is like $2.50. This one's only $1.50 for Rebound. So things seem like they've gone down in price a little bit, so maybe these are percentage off and they just put these stickers on them, and I guess that could be what it is, because yeah, that would be 50% off $3. So I guess they just put the stickers over these ones. But it doesn't seem like all the stuff is. Like, this is the most expensive thing I've ever seen them carry in here. Shameless, the complete second season for $14. Because all the other seasons they've had in the past have been like $8 and things like that. But this one is actually $14, so that's kind of high for this place. But it seems like all the same kind of stuff that's been in here the last couple weeks. Nothing new. This one might have been a newer one in here, Broken City with Mark Wahlberg. But other than that, I'm not seeing really anything else that different in here. Into the Valley Thrift Store we go. So we'll take a look and see what's in here. This one is one you don't see very much. Astro Boy Volume 2. It's like a random volume one of this one. Something on a loose disc in here. But we'll look through here, and every so often they change stuff out. I found a couple decent things in here in the past. A lot of times it's really common stuff, but I found one or two out-of-print titles here, and a lot of times I end up passing over one, and then someone tells me later, oh, you missed one. This is one I haven't seen in a while, Yogi Bear. I think I have this one, Yogi Bear's first movie. But there's random stuff in here, like this Talking Heads thing, but I think this is a bootleg one. This one definitely looks like a bootleg release. And this is an out-of-print one they have in here, Mickey Mouse in living color, but as you can see, they marked it for $14.99, which is actually cheap for it, but it doesn't have the tin for it. The tin is the really cool aspect of it. And I don't think I have this one, but this isn't one that I was that interested in getting, but like, it's actually pretty cool to see this in here, and it is cheaper. It's like $40 is the cheapest you can get this one used. But it's interesting, though, that they're checking some of these now and actually mark this one up. Yeah, the only thing I ended up getting in there is this Survivor one. I don't really know why I got it. It was only $3. It's like the first season of it. For some reason, it was like, oh, I used to remember watching this in the beginning. I know it's pretty much all fake and everything, but like, I remember like for some reason going, oh, I'm kind of interested to look back at an episode or two of this, the original old season of this, or his original one of this. They also had Shadowlands in there. I think that might have been what it was called, like an Anthony Hopkins movie I never saw, but it's like worth $20, but it just did not look very interesting, like one that I'd like. So when it comes to like getting stuff out of print and stuff, if it's something I'm not really interested in, I don't want to get it unless it's like worth a huge amount of money, something like that. And that that Disney one, I kind of like that, but that wasn't one I was super interested in. There were some other ones like the Zorro one, which is really valuable, that I would like to find, but that one, especially not in the actual tin, it's just not as cool when you don't actually have the actual tin that it came in. Into King's Pawn we go. So they have a bunch of different movies in here, so I'm going to look through here, see if I can find anything different in here. I was in here maybe like a couple months back, maybe a month or two back. The last time I tried to go here, they were closed, so let's see if we can find anything. I'm seeing a couple interesting ones in here, like Texasville back here. There's a lot of like Warner Brothers titles I have to keep looking up to see the prices of, but that one seems to have a little bit of value. Texasville. I don't know if I've ever seen that. It's like a Jeff Bridges movie. It looks kind of interesting, but seems to be a couple different ones in here today. Yeah, nothing really too different here. That one looked like it was out of print, but I couldn't see everything. The one problem is a lot of stuff was like covered over things. I didn't really want to get in there and have to move everything, because I saw one TV thing, which I don't know what it was, but I was always like looking for certain stuff like unsolved mysteries and certain titles I'm always trying to find, but didn't see anything that different in there today. Well, I'm back over here again at that pawn shop where I found, you know, Under Wraps, that Keanu Reeves movie, like The Prince of Pennsylvania, some really great out-of-print titles. So I wanted to come back here and see if there's anything I missed the last time I was in here, because after I kind of found those few things, I sort of stopped looking. I didn't look as good as I could. It's one of those pawn shops, though, I'm definitely going to come to at least once a month, because like when everything's $1, you know, you never know what you can find. So we're going to head on in there and see if we can find anything good today. Well, they have a bunch more boxes in here today, so I'm going to sort through all this stuff and see if I can find anything in here, but a bunch of new stuff came in here. That box is new. I looked through that one a minute ago, so I'm just going to keep looking through everything in here. Well, I went in there and looked through everything. Didn't see anything else. You know, there was too rare out of print. I really looked through everything in there. It's been a really long time. The only thing I got was this one interesting movie. It's not really huge value, but it was $1. I think it's worth like $6, called The Salton Sea, which is this one Val Kilmer movie, which I had never seen before, so it looked kind of interesting. This is one I definitely was interested in checking out. But other than that, though, I did find out, though, they have some other locations, so I'm going to head to some of those other ones if I can figure out where they are and see if maybe they have more DVDs as well. Well, I'm out of the second location. I got one thing. I think I might have this. I can't totally remember for sure if it might be away in a box, but I always liked this movie called The Super, you know, from Joe Pesci, you know, movie with Joe Pesci. It's only $1. Somebody signed something on the top. I don't think it's somebody from the movie. I think it's just sometimes people put their names on the top of things. But this was actually a pretty good one. Like I said, I probably have this, but for $1, just to be safe. I know this one goes for like something like $20 to $30, something like that. But it's a very funny Joe Pesci one when he manages this like kind of failing building and he's like trying to get people out of it, something like that. I remember he had all kinds of issues in the movie, like managing this apartment complex. So I went in the third and final pawn shop, looked through there for a while. They actually had a couple different things in here. A lot of really common stuff, but some really good stuff that I got. One that's actually very good. I actually have this one opened, but I really like this show, and it's sealed, and it's really expensive sealed, like really expensive. And it's The Secret World of Alex Mack, the complete first season of this. So like, I'm just happy to find a sealed one of this one. And like I said, in this location though, for some reason everything was $2, but still $2. I think this is like sealed, like $60 or something like that. You're never gonna find this show sealed. And the other one though, which is one I have actually always wanted to find, and pretty much from everything I found today, you know, it pretty much just paid for this one, which is actually pretty cool. So all the other ones were technically free when you look at it like that. It was a movie called that Billy Bob Thornton directed, which was the last Jim Varney movie. I had never seen this one. You know, Jim Varney was really sick when he did this, but I never actually watched this movie and always really wanted to see it. It's worth like $17, and it's called Daddy and Them, and I heard it's really, really depressing, but you know, kind of a dirty looking case, but one that I had always wanted to see. So I pretty much went to all three of these locations. There was one more, but they said that one didn't have too many movies and that one's really far out. But now we'll see where we go next. We're now inside the mall to go to FYE, and I didn't even realize until recently this is the same mall where they filmed that movie Sorority Babes and Slime Bowl-orama. Like, I've been coming here for years and I had no idea they ever filmed anything in this mall. You know, it's been changed a lot since then. It was always so funny to find that out. It's like this weird mall, they filmed this movie in this. But in this mall, they have this great, you know, toy store in here with all kinds of like new and old toys and stuff, you know, really cool place. A lot of retro toys and all, you know, brand new stuff and lots of different stuff in here. And you see things in here I haven't seen in years, like these old Batman toys, like this one of Robin. I think this is from like, I don't even know, 1991. So this is like right when Batman Returns was coming out. So it's like you find some really obscure, weird stuff. They always bring out old stuff in here every so often. This is like from Batman and Robin, but lots of different stuff in this place. And I find something here you never even knew they had toys of, like that show iZombie. Like they have an action figure from iZombie in here. Like really random stuff in here. And they always played the radio station from Orlando. And this always reminded me of a store in Orlando, Florida. So it's always funny that they're actually playing the Orlando radio station in here. But they have like all the Ghostbusters toys in here. Like the new, you know, super detailed ones. And this one of Louis Tully, which is really cool in here. This is a really cool place. Come here every so often and see the kind of stuff they get in here. And they even have these Simpsons playsets. I used to have a whole bunch of these before I moved. These ones that talk. I got rid of so many of them. I always liked these Simpsons playsets. They made so many of them in the past. And then the original Simpsons toys they were making when they were making these playsets, you'd plug them into them and they would talk and say certain things. Always kind of cool ones. And they have all these old trading cards in here, and they have like the old Home Alone trading cards in the box still for only $9.99. American Gladiators, all this different stuff. But this is a gigantic place. I don't think I've ever really filmed it here or showed any of this place, but it's kind of a cool spot. But now into FYE we go. Take a look in here and see if they have anything different. I always come in here every couple weeks or so and see if they have anything out here. It's kind of interesting with the Divergent movies, how they ended up deciding to release the next movie. It's going to be like a TV movie. It's kind of weird that happened with that, since it did so poorly. I actually kind of like those movies, but it's just weird to think now that it's going to be a TV film, and who knows if even everyone's going to come back for that one. And this one they had in here was kind of funny. They're trying to give this one away. It's selling for 1 penny. That's what it looks like. It's only a penny. It says 01, so I think it's only a penny. So they were like desperate to get rid of that one. I should have probably just got it since it only was a penny. But nothing too different in here today. They did have this one movie, The Zombie King, which I reviewed recently. What's funny is it has a totally different cover on it than the version that I reviewed, like this other cover I never saw. Into Walmart we go. And their edition of The Boss in here, which did come out today, has a thing on here which has, only at Walmart exclusive 30 minutes of bonus content. I don't know what the stuff is on this one, or if it's digitally, or it has a Blu-ray in there with it or not, so I'm not sure. But it's also got like red around the case, because this is the regular one. And they also have the 4K, release of Criminal here. But over here in the actual section, it seems to me all the stuff in the last couple of weeks. Don't see anything different in here. Nothing looks like it changed out in here. This is the only thing that might have been different here. This one called like The Final Rapture. Like this one might have been new, but other than that, it seems to be all the same releases. Like I always said in here in Walmart, they kind of change out the titles like once every few weeks. Other than that, it's like the same stuff for a long time. Into Best Buy we go. And they have a thing in here for The Boss you can get like free with purchase of The Boss, like a Boss t-shirt. It's a pretty plain shirt though, but it's kind of a cool thing. I guess it comes free, but if you wanted to actually buy it though, it's $10. But it's pretty, like I said, I don't think you'd want to pay $10 for this real plain shirt though. And they have these ones on sale here for like $3.99, like The Heat, A Good Day to Die Hard, and then Prometheus. Those are not bad prices though. I have all these ones though, but those are pretty decent prices though. But over here today, there's really not too much new over here. I think this one was today, Sing Street, which I don't know too much at all about this one, but I believe this one was one of the ones that was today. But other than that, over here in the section, I'm not really seeing too much else new, not any like real random things or anything like that. And the other thing, like I said, really was just The Boss and then Criminal. But other than that, really nothing else in here today. And these are really cheap here now too, like the seasons of X-Files on Blu-ray. Like the first season's only $9.99, and all the other ones are $9.99 that they have. But that's really a pretty decent price for these ones though. Well, that's all for this DVD Blu-ray Tuesday shopping video today. I actually found some decent out-of-print ones today, so that's cool. Not like the greatest out-of-print ones, but still some pretty good ones though. Anyway though, guys, now stay tuned for my review of, Crimes of Passion from Arrow and the shirt unboxing as well. Well, the one I'm going to talk to you guys about is from Arrow Video US. This is a Ken Russell movie I had never seen before. The cover on this is amazing in this really cool neon text. It's a Kathleen Turner movie, with Anthony Perkins as well. Ken Russell did Lair of the White Worm, and Altered States was a really cool, weird movie. Lair of the White Worm was cool. He did a bunch of different other ones. All have like a weird kind of vibe to them. But this is one called Crimes of Passion, which is one I had never seen. I don't think I ever even heard of this one before. And the transfer in this one is really, really good. Has on here the director's cut and then an uncut edition of here as well. I think the uncut one was like 10 minutes or something like that longer. I watched the director's cut of this one. But the movie is basically, though, about Kathleen Turner, who is this woman who works as a kind of a fashion designer, like drawing up designs, like a really high-paying job. It's a really nice house, but she ends up on the side for like, and you kind of are a little starting to try and figure out exactly why she's doing this, but she basically goes out as a prostitute at night and playing this character named China Blue and sleeping with all these men, and and she does it really cheap too. It's like this kind of like this weird side thing that she's doing. And there's this other guy who is married to Annie Potts' character, and he's in this marriage that's really really isn't working. His wife isn't sleeping with him anymore, and he's really unhappy. And he basically finds out about Kathleen Turner's character because he gets hired to be a kind of private eye detective to, by the fashion industry where she works at, to follow her because her boss has this feeling that Kathleen Turner's character might be up to no good and maybe like plotting to kill him or something. He's got these weird theories, so he ends up hiring him to basically follow him and then just kind of tail her and see what she does. And also Anthony Perkins is in this, is this guy who's totally obsessed with Kathleen Turner's character as the China Blue character, and he's this crazy like preacher character who's like kept on following her around everywhere saying he's going to save her. He was amazing in this. He was so creepy in this movie, and like this bag that he's carrying around with all these weird items, these sex things and stuff, is a very, very creepy role for him. And this is around the time when he was doing the sequels to the Psycho films, which I actually really like those Psycho sequels. And he directed, I think, the second or third one he directed. But this, like I said, this one is called Crimes of Passion. It has on here a new 2K transfer on here. It has on here a commentary track with Ken Russell. And it has 7 deleted scenes with commentary track as well. And then a new interview with the composer in this one. Really cool music as well. Like I said, really love the artwork. A little look inside too. It has in here, the reversible artwork of the original poster for this one of Kathleen Turner. Definitely a different role for Kathleen Turner as well. This is, I think, it might have been right before she did Romance in the Stone, or that might have been a couple years later. But this is one of her earlier films. But like I said, really like this one. Now I have an bubbling thing, or as Brendan says, unbubbling, or an unboxing, or an unbagging of a thing I got sent. I don't know what this is. It's from a company called Terror Threads, which is a horror t-shirt company, and they said they wanted to send me a shirt. I don't know what kind of shirt this is, but I'll put a link for their site. Like I said, it's totally like a random one. I have no idea what kind of shirts or what shirts are in here. So let's see what's in here. So the first thing in here is a shirt of it's a kind of cool one. It's it says Terror Threads. It's like a kind of like a Grim Reaper death with this house. Like death above this house like that. That's a pretty cool image. It's kind of like that house that's like, don't go in the house a little bit. Like that. And then there's a thing in here. It's like an ad thing for Massacre Haunted House. Like a flyer thing for that. Oh yeah, the back was like an ad for their company. Like I said, it's Terror Threads. And there's another shirt in here as well. And some stickers, some Terror Threads stickers. Those are pretty cool stickers. Like they're like of a haunted house. Yeah, I guess they must do something with this haunted house. And then it has another thing. Yeah, the haunted house though is like this Massacre Haunted House, which is like this. I don't have to look what that one looks like. I always looking at like videos and stuff like that, like haunted houses. When you go in there, like those scare attractions. And the other shirt they have in here is another one of like a zombie coming out of the TV, kind of like the Nightmare, or no, Video Dead a little bit, like the horror hand coming out of the TV. That's a pretty cool one. Like I said, these shirts are from Terror Threads, and I'll put a link for them. But anyway, though, guys, thanks again for watching the video. My shopping video and my review at the end for the new Arrow release, and the Terror Threads unbubbling, or as Brendan says, or unboxing or unbagging. Anyway, though, guys, thanks for watching, subscribing, and I'll see you guys later.